up, YouTube? It's another windy day here in the Ozarks, and we're gonna break out the old wood chipper, and we're gonna go chip some brush. That's about all it's good for. I mean, I guess you could toss some bodies, some squirrels, and things like that. I guess squirrels are bodies too. Not really that big a deal. Anyways, you can pretty much huck whatever you want into this thing. But before I drag it around and go to wherever I'm gonna go ahead and start it, make sure it's gonna run. Well, it started. I wasn't sure if the battery was going to be good. It's died on me a few times, and I wasn't sure if it was going to do well, but I put it on the trickle charger a few times, and well, it seems to be holding up now. We're going to take it up there by the house where I've been trimming next to the garden so that we can get a little bit more sunlight into the garden in the morning hours, because as our garden grows throughout the year, you can see from one side to the other, one side doesn't get as much sunshine. And like last year we just did sunflowers, and we started out with little bitty ones, and then they were massive on the other side. So that morning sunshine is pretty important. As you guys can probably tell, my four-wheeler is squatted and it's leaning forward. I had no idea how heavy this thing really was. Like, I pulled it behind my truck and behind my tractor, but never behind the four-wheeler, and I just thought, you know, it'll go behind the four-wheeler, no big deal. It's heavy. It is really, really heavy. And once I started to climb the hill, like, I just had to commit, and the four-wheeler really didn't want to do it, and I was kind of thinking I was going to have to bail and just let it drag me back off down the hill, and we made it. But as far as taking it back, I'll be bringing the tractor or the truck up here. This was pretty spooky. So I went ahead and jacked it up just a little bit so I get it off the four-wheeler, and you can see it was that far out of level. The engine sitting like that, you know, wouldn't be very happy. I'd like to keep the oil nice and level in there. Probably wondering, why do I have an industrial size wood chipper? Well, my father-in-law owns a tree service, and this was his. He owned it for a number of years. The engine, he replaced the engine several years ago, and it was about a $3,000 motor. He didn't want to have to replace it again. This one was blowing oil out of it and fouling plugs, and really it was just running really weak. And he found one just like it, basically new, in really good condition. So he went ahead and purchased that, and I told him, I said, well, man, we could probably rebuild the motor or fix it. And about 3 days later, he came over and he said, hey, I'm gonna give you that. So, you know, it's a pretty awesome thing he did. Kind of blew me away. He's a good dude. For 26 bucks, I replaced the head gasket on it, and it runs fantastic. It'll eat like a 6-inch log, which I don't feed it anything quite that big, but it really helps out here on the farm. Anytime I want to clear something, I don't have a big brush pile I got to find a place to burn, or, you know, like this one's just a small one, but you know, I get pretty big piles of stuff, and I can reuse the mulch. I can throw it anywhere I want to, and really I'm going to use a lot of it on the motocross track to, you know, to build things and as filler, and it can also break down and make really nice dirt. So anywho, let's let her eat. That's where it goes. Well, before we crank this monster up and it gets loud, right now would be a great time to pound that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It'll really help the channel out. And for those of you who have, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. purposely set this thing where it would blow that direction with the wind. And now the wind has changed to this direction, because I'm standing there. It's kind of like smoke at a fire. I guess I'm beautiful. Well guys, just like that, that large brush pile that we had over here has become a little teeny tiny pile of mulch. It seems like you'd get a whole lot, but really you don't. Saved a pretty good pile of that cedar over here, because my favorite things to do in the spring and the fall is to have some of my friends over, have a nice bonfire, you know, everybody just kind of hang out, let the kids run around, burn themselves, you know, just good times. So there's that. I texted a buddy of mine that I haven't talked to since like fall, and he replied, "New number, who dis?" But you all know Oscar. He needs a water and a water and an ice pack, because to be honest, hot old summer sun got me begging for my next breath. Gotta have Oscar. Now that the weather's starting to warm up, we got a lot of things we're gonna end up having to do. The rake up there on the hill, it's gonna have to have a few tines put in it, which we've got those. We're gonna have to put some new shoes on the cutter, and we're gonna be working on the motocross track. And I keep talking about the motocross track, so it's probably a good time that I take you guys out there and just show you where it's gonna be and kind of what we're planning on doing. So come on, me and Huck will show you. All right, it's windy out here. We're not gonna jump any of these jumps because we're on a big turd, but come on, this will be fun. Load up, Huck. Hey, get back on. Go. Some people's dogs. Here's our little 20-foot double. We're not, like I said, we're not jumping it. Alright, so we just came down here in the woods, which you probably seen in a previous video when I was back here knocking these trees out. We're gonna have maybe a step off coming down into here, and it'll come all the way down in around this backside here, and then down this little hole, and we'll put us a nice bowl turn, and then maybe like a seat bounce, like little step up, and it'll head back up this way, probably a jump back up into the rest of the track. tiny baby size, you know, for babies, for infants, tabletop for now.
Dude, the new tabletop is massive.
Nope. Now that you kind of have a lay of the land, that where the little tabletop was, we're gonna probably, you know, it'll come all the way up out of the woods, so it'll be kind of a rhythm section. It'll have a whole bunch of little jumps and you know, different stuff in it, maybe some doubles and I don't know, maybe a triple, who knows. And we're gonna add some jumps and stuff to other areas, and we're gonna build some berms. But the hardest part about it really is getting enough dirt to do it. Like fuel and equipment I have, but dirt costs money. But either way, we're gonna build it. We're gonna start out with everything being pretty small, easy enough to roll, probably make nearly everything a tabletop or a really safe double. That way the kids can go out there and ride and learn, and they can build their confidence, and you know, that's important. Be able to go out and learn safely, then you can start hitting the big stuff, and you know, once you got it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Huck and I got a bunch of other stuff we got to do, so appreciate the views. Remember to pound that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks and God bless. Check you later.